All right, well, happy Monday, everybody. Today is May 25th, I believe it is, and this is episode 35. This is May 24th, episode 35, and I've gotten started with work before I explain what I was going to do. So what I've done so far is I sanded this down fairly flat, and I'm going to add another skim layer of short strand fiberglass right there, because it's the seam, just like I knew before, I had sanded it, that was going to need some more. And then this patch repair panel here also needs a little bit more right in there. Before I do that, I almost forgot about these two holes that I need to fill with some weld first. So I'm getting ready to do that. Back here, I just lightly scuffed the fiberglass repair that I had made yesterday, and there's going to be some short strand fiberglass added to that now. And then I spot welded with this spot welder a couple places back here. Only one of them was effective. I believe it was that one down there, because I wasn't able to get to the flange, or the two pieces of metal on this one, so it actually burnt through. So anyway, I'll fix that. But more importantly, close this up with several. This is the waterfall panel. I had punched holes through here to do like little rosette welds in there, which I was referring to as spot welds before. That's incorrect nomenclature. It's actually those welds there where the holes are. I guess they call those rosette welds. But anyway, I did spot weld in several places along this too, so that's nice and sealed up. Obviously, I can't get back here with the spot welder to pinch that and weld, and I can't do that for this here, unfortunately. If the tub were off of the vehicle, well, even still, actually there, because that's a 90 degree that's taking place there. There's not really, at least not with the spot welder I have, you can't do that. So so now I'm getting ready to fill those two holes there with some weld, and then add my short strand fiberglass. From there, I'll probably, maybe before I put the short strand here, I might go ahead and sand this down flat. Same on the driver's side, and get those issues taken care of before I start actually cutting that beast off back there. All right, here we go. All right, I got the two holes welded shut, and now I'm fixing to put another light coat of short strand right there, because you can see that's the repair patch panel that I did, and it's low in this area, and that needs to be covered over anyway. So I'm gonna do that, put another light coat back here where it's low. You can see, in fact, you can see anywhere that the green is darker, goes from light green to dark, that's a low spot, or those are low spots. So we'll do a little bit of a skim on those, go over that weld seam there, and I'm going to add some to this here, which is my custom. After I get done doing fiberglass cloth and resin, I always put the short strand over top of that. And Coleman did some sanding in here. I'm kind of touch up what he did on the floor It's not real critical though, because I'm putting a floor coating on it anyhow, but I want the edges to be at least feathered so that there's a uniformity and, you know, it looks nice. Same thing over there. Just kind of tying up some loose ends right now. I guess I might be procrastinating because this is a job once I start into this. I'm actually kind of just waiting for this replacement panel to come because I want to find out exactly where I want to cut this. I'll probably cut this right here. Obviously cut the entire inner wheel well out, but somewhere, let me turn this around, somewhere in this region here, let me back up, somewhere in this region here, because I want to keep the B-pillar that I've already done a pretty solid repair to. So I don't want to disturb it, so I'll come back in here somewhere and cut it, which would translate on this side to somewhere in here. And that comes down to about where the patch panel that I made stops. Patch panel is basically right in here, up, over, and then the curve. So somewhere in this area here is where I'm gonna end up cutting to replace that part. But I'm waiting for the panel to get here really, because I want to see, you know, what it looks like feel wise, because I'm not certain that it's 18 gauge like that over there. It might be 20, so it's gonna be a little bit thinner. But you can see here I sanded this down with my inline sander, which is really nice because it's, I don't know, that thing's probably 12 or 14 inches long, and so it has it's good for flat panels like that. You can see here, once again, you've got light green, dark green, so this is a low spot. There's some low spots over in here. That's a high spot, actually. No, that's low. There are some high spots though, like there, where bare metal is. That's a high spot, which means I either have to knock that back, which I'm not gonna do, or just lightly fill there. Anyway, this is the process that you get into at the very end when you're priming and you know, doing skim coats of filler, sanding it back, you know, using guide coat, which is a contrasting color that you kind of, it's like I'll use a black primer. Once I get to the priming stage, the whole Jeep will be primed, and then I'll be block sanding, and wherever there's a high spot or a low spot actually, the primer will be lighter on the part that's high, darker on the part that's low. And that process is just, it's tedious, takes some time, but you know, that's where it really matters, because the final work that you do finessing the body for what do they say, the preparation is everything on a paint job. So that preparation is a lot of block sanding, a lot of priming and skim coating and whatever to get things flat. But I am not going to obsess on this Jeep like I did the truck, because I'm not going to be trying to win any car shows or anything. But I do want it to be, I want it to look good, flat, and not wave at you going down the road. So anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to get going here. I've got some short strand fiberglass down. Just kind of finessing those areas a little bit more, adding some to this one here over the weld holes that I closed up. You know, these were hitting the low spots. This was to cover over the seam, the weld seam back here, where I had the fiberglass with cloth and resin. I got, you know, of course you put down more than what you need because you're going to sand it back some to smooth it. So that should be good. Yeah, so barring, or, you know, except for the seam sealer that will have to go in when I'm ready for that, along the edges here. Looks terrible right now, but it's all that's going to be seam sealed. So, and then the flooring, you know, the truck bed coating. So I'm gonna now I'm going to just finesse those welds a little bit more with the sander, and see where we go from there. So we're getting close to, you know, finishing up what needs to be done in the floor before it's actually coated with the bed liner, you know, seam sealed and coated. So, and then the body is getting closer and closer to the point of where, you know, when things are relatively flat, then the primer goes down, and then the block sanding starts. So that's when the revealing of all the low spots will occur, at which time I'll use, like I did on the truck, just the 3M glazing compound or the filler, or the light body filler here, as needed. But anyhow, just trying to do some things that are going to need to be done before I actually start on this. That things that need to be done that are going to have to be done anyway. So, all right, see you soon. All right, here we are on this driver's side door. Carter, my youngest son, had sanded this for me. It's been several weeks now, and got it mostly prepped. And I hit it with some rust reformer in these spots, because we noticed when we started sanding the door that there was something behind the paint there. So I had him flap it off, and sure enough, there was some pitting, rusting in these areas. So same thing around the door handle. So I went ahead and treated that with the rust reformer, and when you put that stuff on, it goes on clear and it turns black once it's done its job. So I'm gonna let that sit overnight, and then I'm gonna put some short strand fiberglass over that to begin finessing the door. And then once I get it where it needs to be roughly, I'm gonna put a coat of primer on it, 2K primer. And I'm gonna have to tape off this door handle, because I don't wanna take it off over there. I'm trying to avoid as much work as possible. Of course, I'll have to, you know, tape and paper off the glass here and window frame and whatnot. But the other thing I was doing, besides, you know, putting the short strand on this passenger side panel and inside the that repair area there, is I put another skim coat of the light body filler over here, because there was a low spot over here that I found, a couple smaller low spots there. So I went ahead and addressed those first, and then came along pretty much the whole thing, as you can see, and just put a light coat on there, and then I'll sand that back tomorrow or something like that. And then finally, just been doing some housework, so to speak, getting ready for things that are, you know, when it's ready to paint. You know, of course, the wiper blades had to come off. Let's see, there was, you know, of course, took the hinges off. Those are probably going to be replaced with stainless, because I need the stainless hood latches up here anyway. So there's a kit that Quadratec has that I'll probably order, that has, you know, stainless hinges and the pieces up front and so forth, kind of dress it up. I don't think I'm going to do this in stainless though. I'm just going to paint it body color. You know, taking the visors off. See, there was the defrost, you know, direction plastic pieces. Just some general house cleaning things. There's still a wiring mess down here, but there was a bunch more of it. Rat's nest there from the radio that was in there before. Did discover that the reason my heater doesn't work all that well is that the housing on it is actually busted, and they had it duct taped, so I'm gonna have to fix that. And then the defrost itself needs a new I don't even know what they call this, but it's that portion of hose that connects the heater box to the defrost area, takes care of that. So yeah, so just now at this point, when Coleman and I will tomorrow address the, we'll begin cutting out this inner wheelhouse here. This is the last major repair area. And then cutting the rear quarter here, probably somewhere in this region, like I said earlier. And begin that repair process. Allison is going to come back over on Thursday and Friday probably. And so I'll have her finish sanding this and the tailgate, and then do some final sanding inside the floor area, and that'll be pretty much ready, other than scuff sanding, you know, these wheelhouses and stuff to get ready to put the truck bed coating down, which is probably going to buy the one at Harbor Freight, because it's supposed to be compared to another major brand. I think it's compared to like POR 15 or something, but it's a lot cheaper, and I'm into saving money where I can, for sure. So yeah, that wraps it up for today. It's things are getting really, really close. So I mean, I'm going to be down to the point of where, like, I've got my hood up in my shop as well as the other door, and they're already sanded and ready for primer pretty much. So it's coming down to you know, it looks like everything is going to seemingly easily be on track for my goal being to paint by June 15th. So I don't know if I've ever said that on these videos, but the goal is June 15th, and the reason it's that is because I don't want it to get, it is extremely hot here in the Mid-South in the summer. So certainly July and August will be blazing inferno and humid as all get out. So, all right, well, that's it. It's beer 30. So I'll catch you guys next time. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, please leave those as well. Be glad to answer them. All right, see you next time.